GameStop is an interesting beast. It really is. I mean, I still love going to GameStop, even though I don't actually buy anything there anymore, because let's face it, they really don't sell a lot of things that are worthwhile outside of maybe a couple Funko Pops and some gamer nerd memorabilia, things along those lines. But one of the things that's been really slowly strangling GameStop has been the fact that the retail market is dying. As sad as it is to say, it's dying. It was doing okay. It's been dying for a while. It's been dying for a couple years. Go back to 2015, right? Best Buy launched this thing called the Gamers Club Unlocked, and you could spend $30 and get 2 years worth of getting new games at 20% off. The shit pays for itself. Oh my God, it pays for itself. I've had it now for almost 4 years. Next month will end up being my final month of it, so I've got to make the most of it. But the point I'm trying to get to here is that that was a way to keep people coming into Best Buy to buy physical copies of games, and that would do well for them in the long run. But unfortunately, after a couple years, they completely killed the program, alongside Amazon doing the same thing for getting 20% off of pre-ordering a game through Amazon directly. So gamers were getting a good discount, at least on console games, because PC always seems to get a good discount right off the bat. And that was something that a lot of people liked. But of course, it cut into the bottom line, it cut into profits, or maybe they just realized that people weren't actually buying them after the fact. And that, of course, was an issue. So they moved to selling digital codes as more and more people bought digital, because that's kind of where we are now. We're just in this age where everyone is buying digital, even though the people that are proponents of buying games digitally through, let's say, Steam or Origin or Epic Games Store or GOG or things along those lines, or even PSN or Xbox or the Nintendo Store, still complain about the desire to own physical media. Because of the fact that these companies, when their servers shut down, those games go away. And we know that this is a reality where things are currently at, but it's still not going to be saving GameStop by selling those codes, because Sony here has decided that it's going to stop selling digital game codes at physical retailers. Yeah. It's going to hurt GameStop probably more than anything else. Saying you can still buy PSN currency in multiple denominations. Also, that's good. It says your PlayStation 4 owners who like buying downloadable game codes directly from the brick and mortar stores will soon be out of luck. That's because Sony has confirmed to The Verge that it will stop selling such downloadable codes through physical retailers starting on April 1st. And no, that's not going to be an April Fool's Day joke. That is legitimately reality. That is where things are. They're going to be stopping selling these codes. And the truth of the matter on that is that's a really poor move. That is a really poor move, because what you have is, not, for one, not everybody, always goes and buys games through the digital side of things themselves. You have people with birthdays or other things we're celebrating that their family members might buy them the digital code rather than just getting them a gift card. But by getting rid of the physical codes, I think it's just going to hurt the bottom line for some of these games. But then again, that could be what Sony is looking to mitigate from, because Best Buy selling a digital code for $60 still gets its retailer cut. They want to cut out the middleman, right? They want to cut out the middleman is effectively what they're trying to do. Even though 5 years ago, I think next month, there was a big push from gamers like Boogie2988 and other people on YouTube that were coming out and saying, hey, man, hey, if you're going to be pushing these digital stores, you should cut out the middleman. Those savings should go on to the gamer. And ultimately, they never did, but they may not be able to get around a big push nowadays because of that whole thing. Now, it says here, the report confirms a Wario64 tweet that quotes GameStop memo saying Sony full digital downloads will only be available for purchase through the PlayStation Marketplace after April 1st. Days Gone and Mortal Kombat 11 will be the sole full game exceptions to this policy, because those are already coming out, and so you can already pretty much buy those. Though DLC and Season Passes will still be available for direct purchase, it's unclear if web-based retailers like Amazon will be affected by the decision. I would only see that maybe it probably would after a while. I mean, Amazon is going to reach more people ultimately than GameStop, because if you go to GameStop to buy a digital code, you could just go to Amazon and buy it too. And that way you don't actually have to leave your house, or in my case, put on pants. Now, retail availability of digital game codes was especially useful for players who didn't or couldn't use a credit card on the PlayStation Network storefront. Buying digital codes through the retailer also let customers make use of trading credit from used physical games and take advantage of other retailer promotions without requiring the purchase of a physical disc, which is very true and makes a lot of sense. While individual game codes will no longer be available, brick and mortar customers will still be able to buy prepaid PSN currency cards with a newly expanded set of denominations, such as 10, 20, 50, 75, and 100. This will come as a little sterile for customers who want to buy someone a downloadable PS4 game or PSN game as a gift, but it will serve the same purpose for most other users. And look, it's not going to change a lot in regards to where things are. It's not going to change a lot and how people purchase their games. I think at this point in time, most people already know how they do it, right? Like I do go buy games from Best Buy because I have that 20% off and I get them cheap. Hell, I got Battlefield 5 new and unopened the other day for $20.67 because of a sale for the game, my 20% off, and a $5 code that I had for free. So, I mean, seriously, you can get some pretty good stuff for a fair price. Now, PlayStation spokesperson said that this decision was made in order to continue to align key business globally, whatever that means, which I completely agree with that statement there. Microsoft, Nintendo, and many other PC game makers continue to sell digital codes for specific games at retail. But the thing is, Sony is the biggest of the big right now. When it comes to the digital codes, when it comes to just the marketplace, Sony has the marketplace. So if they pull out, the other ones are probably going to do the same if they don't see an uptick in digital game code sales at those brick and mortar retailers. Now, Sony's move comes during challenging times for game retailers. Physical sales and profits are down throughout the brick and mortar marketplace, and GameStop stock cratered 27% in January after the company failed to find a buyer. And of course, there's also the situation involving Toys R Us. Although the future of that's currently up in the damn air, who freaking knows? But I mean, I think we're at a point where gamers have to have that conversation of, is this the end of the physical retail marketplace? Is this the end of GameStop being an actual game seller? In some aspects of it, for new games, maybe it might actually get to that damn point. The used market's always going to be there because physical media never fully dies, and people are going to want to be able to find and buy, sell, and trade other games. But again, as more and more people start moving further and further into these new consoles, as we get the PS5 and they're doing 2 more versions of the Switch, I heard, or something like that. And then they've got whatever the next Xbox is going to be, which is at this point pretty much relying almost solely on the Xbox Games Pass as a way to get people to come in and actually try the first party content at a subscription rate of $10 a month, which if that's a success, I could be seeing Sony and Microsoft pulling the same thing. Pay us an online fee, a monthly membership fee, and get access to all of these games. And you know what? I think a lot of people will do it. So the brick and mortar retail stores are going away. There's in that regard, there's always going to be things for them, but the kind of the geek chic movement is coming to an end. You know, like the type of nerdy pop-up stores, I think are going to run into a bit of a problem here, because gaming is a big part of that, right? The merchandise side of things might be okay for a bit, but I don't know. I just don't see these things lasting as long as they used to. I mean, same with movies. You know, I love buying Blu-rays, but they're becoming more and more expensive. You know, I can go and pick up, what is it? Aquaman Steelbook Edition, $37 for the Steelbook. That's astronomical. I can wait a few months and that's going to drop in price, hurting Warner Brothers' bottom line. Those, you know, people who buy it right off the bat, I'm like, that's a pretty expensive thing. So people are waiting for it to drop in price, or they're buying it digital where it might be a little bit cheaper, or they don't have to worry about losing it or it breaking. So the thing is, retailers are going to have to react, and I don't know if they're going to be able to, because they can only cut out profits so much. I mean, look at GameStop and not being able to find a buyer. Anyway, this is a really complicated issue. Obviously, I've not explained it to the full extent of it, but it's just my thoughts on it. I'm curious to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Have yourself a great day, and peace out.